What's going on, you guys? Jay here and welcome back to the channel. So don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I don't know about you guys, but I've been watching the new Star Wars Skeleton Crew and I'm just wondering, where the heck are they taking Star Wars? I'm not sure if I like it or dislike it at this point, and I really feel The Mandalorian has saved Star Wars, and now we're just getting all these regurgitated kind of side stories and not really getting a main course. But let me know if you guys have been watching the new Star Wars. Let me know what you think about it. So we're going to be talking about LUNC in this video, but I want to give everybody an outside perspective as to what's really going on, as to what we're interested in here on the channel, things like XRP, LUNC, some of the meme coins that we've been trading, for example, like Ponky, which again, we've made a serious amount of gains on Ponky. And that's what we're all looking for, is these, again, side hustles outside of LUNC so we can get gains and bring them into the ecosystem. I'm seeing a lot of these posts floating around. This one's relatively new, posted around 19 minutes ago, but they're all talking about the idea of the crypto rally being over for 2024. And when you dive into these articles, they seem to be all coming from the same kind of people, and they seem to be AI generated. We see a lot of these articles now that are simply AI generated. They could be psyops, it could be a reverse psychology thing. I don't think the rally is over in regards to the halving cycle. We've still got alt season, we still got meme season. There is a lot more money to be made. There's going to be a lot more areas to trade in. Now, with this being said, it's quite clear that the year's ending. And like I said, when you go in, you dive in, you look at these articles, you can see that they are really trying to bring the market down. Again, retail, financial institutions, banks, everybody's trying to get involved in, you guessed it, crypto. And the cheaper they can get those positions, well, the better it's going to be in the long run. These kind of investors invest substantial amounts of money. And it's like what we were talking about with that 313 BTC, the LFG reserve holds. It's ideal for the SEC because that small amount of Bitcoin actually equates out into a huge amount of money, which those 10%, 20% swings are a lot of money. It makes a huge difference. As a lot of you know, if you invest big, you gain big. So all throughout the course of 2024, I kept saying to everybody, XRP was really going to be something you want to keep your eye on. Seeing a lot of these articles that are now talking about these higher targets of $16.50, and it's laughable. It is honestly laughable that people can try to put a price on the future. This is something that is unfathomed. We're currently seeing USDT being attacked left, right, and center. The likelihood is it's going to be leaving a lot of different ecosystems. It's not going to be available in as many countries as it was before. There's a bit of a panic at the moment, I think, in the United States. And now what are we looking at? Well, RLUSD, like I explained to everybody, it is the final piece of the Ripple puzzle. What we are going to see is probably a unique event, something that outdoes everything in crypto. And I know a lot of people are probably thinking, it's not going to, but don't find yourself in that group of people that simply says, nah. 2025 was already going to be a huge year for Ripple XRP. Now, with the USDT delistings on the horizon, it adds an element of unknown into an already unknown situation. XRP's never been up this high, and a lot of people thought it would, in itself, a stable coin, it would remain at that price for its indefinite future. So again, don't find yourself on the side of people that simply said, nah. So going on, looking at some LUNC stuff, and a lot of the articles, when you go out there and you actually search for them, are about one of two things, unless it's a paid article, and it's very easy to distinguish a paid article from one of these AI articles. They're either about price or they're about upgrades. And what I was saying recently in my previous videos is we should better market those upgrades. They should be celebrated, they should be harnessed, and they should be visually receptive to the public, not just the developers. The developers can understand what it is because they've developed it. It doesn't need a name to better suit their needs. It needs a fancy marketing scheme, if you would say, behind it. It needs some kind of roadmap planning. It needs doing properly, and it can be organized behind the scenes by the people who are developing it, because there's so many of us that really understand what you guys want to see from an upgrade, what you can better understand, and all of the gobbledygook simply doesn't help. Despite all of this, anyway, we are getting articles, which is a good thing, although you don't see them a lot. The ones we are seeing at the moment is about this whole building up strength, or is it just simply bearish momentum? And this got me thinking, because of what we've been going over recently with the price chart action. If we just bring up the daily view here, the area we are currently reaching is very important, because of the simple fact we've only been through this zone 3 times. And the last time we attempted to come up through this zone, we failed, and we came down and punched our most recent all-time low. Now, looking recently, we can see we have pushed out of this area. This is a good sign, a really good sign, and we'll get onto this shortly. But what I want to do is talk about this area here. This was the last time we really tried to push out of this zone, and it was a quick push. What I mean by this was there wasn't a lot of true momentum behind it. There wasn't a lot of positivity during this time with Lunar Classic. So we can't really attribute any of this area to positive movement. More negative movement during this time. You can sort of go back, you can take yourself back in your mind if you'd like to. I want to look towards the future, but what I want to do here is more reference this area, because what we're doing now is the exact same thing. As you can see, you've got a pretty clear trend line forming. If we get a line in the middle so it looks similar for you guys, we can see that we're moving up. And the fact that we've punched out of this area made one thing quite clear. We've got a new all-time low. We've got a new all-time high. This means we're punching newer lows and newer highs. This is very important, because what could happen next is a punch down to this area, like I've been explaining, and then maybe a bigger push upwards. We could see some squirreling down here. The reason why I'm saying this is if we look at this point here and we take a line, we put it between, we've got the cup line. And what we can do is take the bottom, scoop it round, and we can see we are forming a cup and a handle. And the likelihood is we're going to push out with the rest of the market. How positive sentiment is during that time is probably going to determine how high we could possibly push. Could we get above our all-time high? Absolutely. There are a lot more positives that are going on this blockchain currently, and it's a lot more reliable now. It's got native tools. We're beginning to get control of the CMC dashboard system. We've got a development team that are deforking basically everything that makes the chain too complex for compatibility with the broader Cosmos ecosystem. We've corrected the gas issues. Alongside these positives, we've also seen TFL commit to burning all of their assets. I then went ahead and burned the Mirror and Anchor protocol assets in a decentralized process. So we have seen a good amount of coins removed from the total supply. Along with everything else, we're starting to see a floor coming in. We're starting to see a rather nice trend line forming. And it isn't a trend line that is short. It's not being rushed. It's not fast paced. It's taking its time. We can see we have punched out in a healthy area. Areas and times where we've simply not punched out before. There's been many times when we've all been sat there saying, well, BTC's running, other coins are running, why aren't we? Well, we didn't see that happen this time, which was a really, really good sign. It shows us that there's strength. Again, getting and making a punch out from this area. And what we should start to see is a higher trend line form. And what you're really going to want to see is us following this trend line, but making healthy punch outs where we create new higher highs and new higher lows. Each time coming up, punching out, coming down, touching down, punching back up. This is the best option for us right now going into 2025. And if we can maintain this positive mindset, this positive feeling, if we can start to attract new users in, if we can create a sense of equality, if we can remove the barriers for development, if we can begin to get all of these things together in 2025, I believe we will continue to follow this trend line in a very healthy way where we get these nice areas where we punch out. And each time we punch out, each time we continue to follow this trend line, well, what we're going to get is more of the market flocking over to our blockchain. And they're going to try to basically do what you would do: sell the highs, buy the lows, sell the highs, buy the lows, sell the highs, buy the lows. This is why it's really good to have whale traders there that are going to come in. They're going to buy the lows. They're going to sell the highs, because it keeps pushing us along this healthy trend line. When I was stood back for almost 3 months' time, not creating content and just focusing on getting LUNCDash formed into an actual legitimate company and getting that app ready, I realized the answer has always been right in front of me as to the solution for all of the problems that I keep saying about. The future's looking very bright, and I'm very positive as to what I'm developing behind the scenes. Next month's going to be a really interesting month. The content's probably going to get a lot more bubbly. It's probably going to be a lot more exciting. There's probably a chance that I could dox in the future, and there's a high chance that we're probably going to be doing crypto on the beach for you guys. But look, let me know what you think about all of this in the comments section. And aside that, just stay safe, stay humble, stay aware, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao!